footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich, and we're bringing you our Big East preseason awards and predictions. Top recruiting class, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Panthers. Dave Wanstead really putting it together. He has a pro-style quarterback in Mark Myers, just in case Tino Sinceri or Pat Bostic don't work out. 2 defensive ends from New Jersey and 4 wide receivers. So he's really using his connections in recruiting.
Well, I'm going to go with West Virginia with the best recruiting class. You bring in a wide receiver like Ivan McCartney, and also offensive lineman, big mammoth offensive lineman Quentin Spain, 6'6", 330, a guy that has a pro body already. If he can get it muscled up and get consistent and avoid injury, he's going to be a superstar for the Mountaineers. So I give those guys the best recruiting class.
Best pro prospect, I'm going back to Three Rivers over there. It's the Pittsburgh Panther, Jonathan Baldwin, in a line of Antonio Bryant, Larry Fitzgerald, great receivers. This guy really has the frame to do it. A little more technique, and he's going to be there. He could be a #1 wide receiver in the NFL one day.
So I'm going to stay in Pitt with you as well, too, but I'm going to go with the defensive end Greg Romeus and the running back Deion Lewis, even though he's a true sophomore. But I will go with Romeus. This guy is any pass rushing is a premium in the NFL. You have a good pass rusher, a great pass rusher in Pitt with Romeus, so he's going to be my best pro prospect.
Well, it's all about Pitt this year and the expectations. There's a lot of good non-conference games for these teams. UConn plays Vanderbilt and Michigan. Syracuse has to go to Washington. A couple other games, but Pittsburgh, with the toughest schedule by far, I think, open up at Utah. A couple weeks later, they host Miami, which is supposed to be dirty also, and then they're at Notre Dame. What do you think? Who do you think has the toughest schedule?
Yeah, I think Pitt does. You mentioned that Utah. You also they go to Cincy this year. They go to UConn, which is going to be a tough place to play. That may come down to the Big East championship game right there. But that's a tough schedule, and Pitt definitely has a team for it. But I think that's a tough slate for those guys.
Team on the rise now. I think it's Pitt again. They got Deion Lewis for at least another year. Dave Wanstead keeps bringing the recruits. That offensive line's always going to be good with the running game. So I believe in Pitt.
I think Syracuse is on the rise. Marone is recruiting a lot of talented players out of New York City, out of upstate New York. So he's getting a lot of in-state talent to stay home. And Syracuse is going to get back to those days with the McNabbs and the McPhersons when they had a lot of talented playmakers. So that's going to be key. I think Syracuse is a team on the rise.
And best offensive player, I could go with Deion Lewis, I could go with Baldwin, I could go with this guy, that guy, but senior year, Noel Devine, I can't believe he's a senior already. Give him the rock. He's going to be able to shine in that spread offense.
So I'm going to go back to Pitt. I know we hung around in Pitt a lot. So Deion Lewis, by far, 1,800 yards as a true freshman. That's Herschel Walker-like. Deion Lewis, the best offensive player, the Big East, preseason Big East MVP, my vote.
Defensive player of the year, you went with the pro prospect. I'm going to go with Greg Romeus. This guy's long, rangy, puts a little bulk on him. He's going to be a great NFL defensive end, such as Pierre Paul is a top 15 pick. Look for Romeus to move into that category next year.
Yeah, I go with Romeus as well. He's a lot better than Pierre Paul. Pierre Paul was more of a freakish athlete. Romeus is more of a finished product, a guy that could have went pro last year.
And I think it's a 3-horse race in the Big East. Pitt, West Virginia, UConn I'm putting in there. A lot of people loving Pitt. I don't know if they can handle expectation. Tough schedule. I'm going to go with UConn, though. I think they have a defense. They got a great offensive line and running game. I believe in Zach Frazier. It's his senior year, so they could be a sleeper in the Big East, and I'm going to go with the underdog Huskies.
Well, when I look at my team who I predict to win this conference, I look at the team that's solid on both sides of the offensive and defensive line. They're solid in their quarterback play. Has outstanding running back, and also has a defense to match. So you look at all that, I think the one team that has a constant is Pitt. So I'm going with Pitt to win this, even though West Virginia can possibly be that team, or UConn can definitely be that team, sneaking up on teams out there in Storrs, Connecticut. But I do believe, you know, Pitt is the best team in the Big East. They're going to go to a BCS game this year.
Yeah, I like Geno Smith at West Virginia also, but I think it's going to come down to those 3 teams. But UConn, Randy Edsall, surprise year with all those defensive players back, good offensive line. You know, that's smash mouth football, Big East. That's how you could win.
They do
a
it
small conference.
They do it the right way up in UConn. You know, they recruit well. They play solid teams, offense, defense, and special teams are solid for UConn. I can see those guys winning, but Pitt is just too strong.
And the weather late in the season is perfect for UConn style, smash mouth. So look out for that also. For more college football previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NCAA or check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/footballgameplan.